You've poured thousands of dollars and endless hours into your band's new album. You've posted it everywhere. So why is it that a selfie you took in your practice space gets more likes than your actual music? Before you start blaming the algorithm, the local scene, or the death of metal itself, let's talk about the blunt, uncomfortable truth. The biggest reason no one's listening has everything to do with your sound. Let's get one thing out of the way first. Yes, promotion matters. Yes, visuals and branding matter. Tons of bands fail because their idea of promotion is just a post and pray announcement on release day, and their visuals look like a default PowerPoint template. We could talk all day about 60-day release plans, EPKs, and content strategies, but absolutely none of it matters if the core product, the music, is unlistenable. The hard truth is that sound quality is the single biggest gatekeeper in 2025. Listeners judge your band's professionalism in seconds. On platforms like Spotify and TikTok, that judgment happens in the first 10 seconds of a song. If your music is plagued by poor sonic quality, no amount of promotion is going to save it. Bad audio doesn't just get skipped, it actively sabotages all your other efforts. It's the reason you're being ignored, and it's hiding in plain sight. So let's have the tough conversation. This isn't about telling you your riffs suck. This is about pinpointing the sonic mistakes that are making your band invisible and giving you a real, actionable plan to fix them. The number one killer of underground metal bands is what I call the rehearsal room sound. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That thin, fizzy guitar tone, those dry, synthetic-sounding drums that have all the punch of a cardboard box, the bass that completely vanishes on laptop speakers, and cymbals that sound like someone is smashing trash can lids next to a microphone. This sound screams amateur louder than any poorly designed band logo ever could. In today's music landscape, where well over 100,000 new tracks are uploaded to streaming services every single day, listeners have an incredibly low tolerance for anything that sounds low budget. Modern metal fans, whether they realize it or not, are used to a certain standard of production. When your track comes on after a song by a band like Lorna Shore or Spirit Box, the difference in quality isn't just noticeable, it's jarring. It creates a sonic barrier that most listeners simply will not cross. They'll skip your song within the first 10 or 20 seconds, and even worse, the algorithm will notice. High skip rates teach platforms that your music isn't engaging, and as a result, it won't be recommended to new listeners. Your bad mix is literally training the algorithm to bury you. So how do you fix this? It's not about booking time at Abbey Road. It's about being deliberate and investing smartly. First, like I discussed in a previous video, pre-production is non-negotiable. Before you even think about hitting record, define your target sound. Pick 3 to 5 reference tracks from bands in your subgenre that have the production you're aiming for. Use these as your North Star during tracking and mixing. Practice relentlessly to a click track. A tight performance is infinitely easier to mix than a sloppy one. Fix arrangement issues before you record, not after. Second, be strategic with your recording budget. If you're working with limited funds, plan to spend 50 to 70% of it on mixing and mastering. A great mix engineer can salvage decent home recordings, but a bad mix will destroy even the most pristine tracks. If you absolutely have to DIY your mix, then your new religion is referencing. Constantly A/B test your mix against your chosen reference tracks. Listen on studio monitors, your laptop, in your car, and on cheap earbuds. Does the low end translate? Are the guitars harsh? Does it fall apart at low volumes? Be brutally honest with yourself. Hiring an engineer who specializes in your subgenre is the single best return on investment you can make. They know the conventions. They have the right tools. They can provide the objective perspective you lose after hearing your own song thousands of times. Stop thinking of production as the final expense and start treating it as a foundational investment. All right, next up, let's talk about a classic trap in our community, the making music for musicians. This is the band with mind-bending technicality, odd time signatures that would make a math professor sweat, and riffs so complex they need their own flow chart. On paper, it's impressive as hell. But when you listen, it just leaves you cold. There's no hook, no memorable chorus, and zero emotional connection. Technical skill is a tool, not a song. Audiences, even metalheads who appreciate incredible musicianship, connect with songs, not exercises. They remember the riff that forces them to headbang, the vocal line that gives them the chills, or the atmospheric break that transports them somewhere else. They don't remember the 13/8 polyrhythm in the third measure of the second verse. Or maybe some do. Look at the bands that actually break through. They are masters of memorable songwriting. Take a band like Gojira. The riffs are heavy and often rhythmically complex, but above all, they're memorable. They build tension and release. Their songs have sections that are designed to connect with a huge crowd. Now, think about that local band you saw last weekend that played a 45-minute set of nonstop, 100-mile-an-hour shredding. Can you hum a single note of their riffs? Probably not. The solution isn't to dumb down your music. It's to shift your focus from complexity to composition. In metal, a hook isn't just a catchy vocal line. A hook can be a crushing riff, a powerful drum groove, a unique atmospheric texture. A well-crafted song guides the listener on a journey. It needs dynamics, peaks and valleys that create an emotional impact. During your songwriting process, ask yourself, What is the purpose of this part? Does this solo actually serve the song, or does it just show off how fast I can play? Is this transition jarring in a cool, effective way, or is it just confusing? Record your rehearsals and listen back a few days later with fresh ears. If a section doesn't grab you, if it feels like filler, it probably is. Be willing to kill your darlings. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for a song is to simplify it. A single, well-placed power chord can have more impact than a flurry of 64th notes. Serve the song, not your ego. The final mistake is sounding genre generic. This is when a band fits so perfectly into a subgenre box that they become completely indistinguishable from hundreds of others doing the exact same thing. Are you a deathcore band using the same breakdown patterns and synth pads as everyone else? Are you a black metal band whose riffs sound like a less inspired version of a band from 1993? Originality isn't about reinventing the wheel. Very few bands are truly groundbreaking, but successful bands almost always have a unique identity, a signature element that sets them apart. Maybe it's a vocalist's unique tone, a weird blend of genres, or a production choice that defines their sound. For example, the murky, cavernous production of a band like Tomb Mold is a key part of their identity. It's a deliberate choice that makes them stand out from bands with a more sterile, clean sound. And this problem of generic sound is almost always tied to generic visuals. The band with the unreadable, spiky logo that looks like every other death metal logo. The band with the same black and white promo photos have everyone standing in a dilapidated building. Your visuals are the first impression and directly influence whether someone even bothers to click play. If your visual identity is boring, people assume your music is too. The fix is to find your unique angle and apply it to everything. Sonically, this goes back to your influences. Instead of just copying your favorite band, try blending those influences in a new way. What happens if you mix the atmosphere of post-metal with the riffs of thrash? What if you incorporate an instrument that isn't typically found in your subgenre? Experiment and find a combination that's uniquely yours. Visually, you need to create a cohesive brand. Decide on a consistent visual theme, a color palette, a font style, a logo treatment, and use it for your album art, social media, merch, and music videos. Your logo has to be legible, even as a tiny thumbnail on a Spotify playlist. The consistency builds recognizability and communicates that you're a serious project that has put thought into every single aspect of your art. So before you spend another $1 on Facebook ads or another hour complaining that the algorithm has it out for you, take a long, hard, and honest listen to your own music. Is the production sterile and amateurish, creating a wall that new listeners can't get over? Are you falling into the music for musicians trap, putting technicality ahead of memorable songs? Or is your sound and brand so generic that you're just getting lost in the noise? These are the things you can actually control. Fixing them isn't easy, but it's the most important work you can do to give your music a real chance of being heard. Promotion and visuals get people to the door, but it's the sound that invites them in and makes them want to stay. Now I want to hear from you. What are the biggest sonic mistakes you hear in underground metal? And if you're in a band, what's the single biggest lesson you've learned about production? Drop a comment below, and let's talk about it.